In this lesson, we will briefly introduce the development history of speech signal processing. In the year 1876, Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. In this year, the telephone patent was issued to Bell by the U.S. Patent Office. In 1892, Bell used the phone call at the opening of a long-distance line from New York to Chicago. Companies often have the word Bell as part of their name to honor him. It was the first time that humans could use electric waves to spread sound. Here is a short video to show us the voice from Alexander Graham Bell in the history.
Alexander Graham Bell spoke some of the most famous words ever when he used a fledgling telephone he was inventing to speak to his assistant.
Mr. Watson, I want you.
But until recently, we've never heard his actual voice. Physicists have changed that by using 3D scans to capture recorded files on wax discs of the era and convert them into playable audio files. Plucked from the Smithsonian archives, the liberated recording features Bell through must and static saying,
You are my heart. Alexander Graham Bell.
Bell had an elocution teacher father and deaf lip-reading wife, and had lived his life in England, Canada, and the eastern United States. Bell biographer Charlotte Gray said she can hear all of that in the recording, dated 1885, adding, quote, "The voice is vigorous and forthright, as was the inventor, at last speaking to us across the years."
You are my heart. Alexander Graham Bell.
In the year 1939, the research physicist Homer Dudley invented the vocoder, which was invented as a result of research into compression techniques for telephone voice encryption at Bell Laboratories, New Jersey, USA. This was the first successful attempt at analyzing and re-synthesizing the human's voice. Here is a short video to show the vocoder invention at Bell Lab in the history.
The search to achieve this realism has been going on for nearly a century. Our story starts, well before computers, at the 1939 World's Fair in New York. Between the introduction of the Viewmaster and Electra the robot, Bell Labs showed off a device they had developed called the voder. By pressing 15 different keys, an operator controlled buzzing and hissing sounds, which when put together created a voice purely electronically.
She saw me.
A pedal adjusted the pitch of the voder, which meant that the operator could even add expression to the voice to, interesting results.
Whom did she see? She saw me.
Yeah, the voice wasn't that good, but it was intelligible, which meant that the voder was at least somewhat functional. The voder itself was only the second half of a device called the vocoder, invented by Homer Dudley while working at Bell Labs.
In 1947, Bell Lab invented a spectrogram. A spectrogram is a visual representation of the frequency spectrum of sound or other signal as they vary with time or some other variables. Spectrograms can be used to identify spoken words phonetically and to analyze the various calls of animals. They are used extensively in the development of the fields such as music, sonar, radar, and speech processing, seismology, and others. In 1952, Davis in Bell Labs successfully developed the experimental device to identify 10 English digits for the first time. The identification is done according to the first and second speech format. It was a kind of speaker-dependent speech recognition system. In 1956, Allison, the scientist in USA, developed a simple voice control typewriter named phonetic typewriter by use of extracting the spectral parameters through 8 bandpass filters. In the year 1960, Gunnar published a book, Acoustic Theory of Speech Production. It described the source filter theory, explaining well the acoustic and physiological mechanisms of articulation in speech production. During the year 1960s to 1970s, the digital signal processing algorithms developed very fast, and some important theories were proposed at that time. In 1965, FFT algorithm was developed to quickly perform a discrete Fourier transform DFT. In 1968, homomorphic processing technique was developed by the scientists at MIT. Homomorphic filtering is a generalized technique for signal processing, involving a nonlinear mapping to a different domain in which linear filter techniques are applied, followed by mapping back to the original domain. In 1975, a very important technique, linear prediction, was proposed, which is often called linear predictive coding, LPC, in digital signal processing, and can thus be viewed as a subset of filter theory. Linear prediction is a mathematical operation where future values of a discrete time signal are estimated as a linear function of previous samples. In system analysis, linear prediction can be viewed as a part of mathematical modeling or optimization. In the late 1970s, another important technique, vector quantization (VQ), is proposed, which has been widely used for lossy data compression, pattern recognition, density estimation, and clustering. VQ is a classical quantization technique from signal processing that allows the modeling of probability density function by the distribution of per-type vectors. It was originally used for data compression. It works by dividing a large set of points or vectors into groups having approximately the same number of points closest to them. In the early 1970s, some algorithms like DTW, dynamic time mapping, and HMM, hidden Markov model, were successfully used in speech recognition. Since the year 1980, modern speech processing technology developed vigorously. In the area of speech coding, LPC technique leads to the significant improvement of coding efficiency, making the bitrate much lower. In 1980, LPC-10 codec had a low bitrate 2.4 kilobits per second. In 1988, FS1016 speech coding standard used the scheme of SELP, Codebook Excitation Linear Prediction Codec. In the year 1990s, the speech codec based on MBE, multi-band excitation model at the bit rate 2.4 kilobits per second was widely used in security communication. Many model-based vocoders can be found in the international standard ITU-T GPONT series. In the area of speech synthesis, a kind of parallel format synthesizer was designed in 1980. Later, T.D. Pasola speech synthesis and corpuscle-based synthesis methods were proposed. In the 1990s, HMM-based speech synthesis was proved to have good performance, which belongs to a kind of trainable speech synthesis system. In the area of speech recognition, HMM-based scheme began to be widely used since 1980s, which belongs to statistical pattern recognition technique. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, in America, has worked with the speech recognition community since the mid-1980s to improve the state of art in speech processing technologies. Since the 1980s, many products appear in human daily life, such as IBM Large Vocabulary English Dictation Machine. In the early 1990s, researchers in CMU designed a speaker-independent continuous speech recognition system. Speaker-independent recognition task should be not dependent with the speaker and is more difficult than the speaker-dependent task. IBM designed the desktop speech recognition product in Chinese. With the fast development of hardware and software, especially the computer science, machine learning, and deep learning techniques started to be widely used in speech processing system, especially since the year 2012. Here is the demo from TechPrime Lab to show a browser-based speech recognition and synthesis system using neural network technique.
Speaking is actually the easiest way than typing, then why to waste your time on keyboard? Let me introduce you our new technology that converts voice into text and saves your time. Speech recognition and speech synthesis are the best technologies that not only evolve continuously but also used in today's web applications. As of today, they have the greatest impact on human interaction with machines. The simple motive behind this is, if I can speak, why should I type? So here at TechPrime Lab, our engineers are enhancing the speech recognition system by adding extra layer of neural network learning algorithms, both unsupervised and supervised, to fulfill the client's need in specific areas such as medical fields, agriculture, military services, etc. Our ultimate mission is to make machine interactions independent of external peripheral devices. Let's take a tour on actual application.
What is your name?
My name is Shrikant Patil.
What is your age?
My age is 22.
What are your symptoms?
I have fever, cold, nausea, and muscle pain.
Okay. I think you are suffering from either malaria or bird flu.
Okay, doctor.
So, you can take Dolo 650, Calpol, and Crocin.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.
That's all for this session. See you next session.